Ladies, let's talk about menopause. I know that I come across all these videos on YouTube all the time telling women how to deal with the uncomfortable symptoms of menopause and all the medications they can take. And I'm not going to shame anyone for needing medication, and I'm not going to deny that there are changes in that time of life. However, I'm very triggered by the fact that so many doctors, including female doctors, including one I just saw on Diary of a CEO, telling women that they need hormones to deal with what is a natural life change and treating women in menopause like patients, like it's a disease. It's not a disease. Menstruation is not a disease. Puberty is not a disease. Menopause is not a disease. I'm so frustrated. I'm kind of mad. I'm mad that they are portraying it in this way. Now, menopause is a natural part of life. This is something I wrote. Not a diagnosis or an illness. I am many years into menopause. I'm 62. I don't know exactly when I started menopause because in my early 40s I had a hysterectomy, okay? Because I had fibroids. So I had my uterus removed. And I never had a period since then. So, but I remember in my mid to late 40s having a lot of night sweats. I do remember that. Waking up drenched in the middle of the night and not knowing what was going on. I'm 62. I do not take any hormones. I do not have a libido problem. I'm not a patient, and I'm not, and I think that what doctors really need to do a better job of figuring out why they're treating women going through natural life changes like patients. The problem is that they are lacking like a deeper understanding of health. I made a video earlier today, which was, a few minutes ago, it's still uploading, that Americans are fatter than pigs. We also have a lot of metabolic disorders, a lot of inflammation, people living very high stress lives. And the fact is that the estrogen has protected women from realizing the cruel downstream effects of a long life of bad eating, neglecting their need for rest and for love and for proper mothering and nurturing, and again, bad food. So when there's kind of a shift in the hormones, a lot of women can't properly handle it, but there are things they can do. So to move into menopause this is for you younger ladies. You do not need to think of menopause as this horrible thing. I do not use lube for intercourse, okay? When I'm having sex with my sugar daddies, I'm not attracted to them. I have to get myself turned on. I'm just saying, my pussy is not this dried out canyon. It's not. Now, I will say that there are some transitional things that happen, but they're not debilitating, nor do they require hormone treatment. Okay? I feel the same about men. Like, why are guys in their 40s taking testosterone replacement therapy? Like, what has gone wrong with our natural health, our natural beauty? I could go on and on about the plastic surgery industry. Okay, I am for natural health and natural beauty. And not that many people are, so I think I should have a say in some of it because you may not hear this other places. I have been following Ayurveda, and Dr. Nancy Lonsdorf, who's a Harvard-trained physician. I actually met her a few times. I've got her book in the 90s. She's a Harvard-trained physician who left the kind of like traditional medicine to work in doing Ayurvedic health. She went to, let's see, where are her credentials? Oh, she's the medical director of the Raj. This is from a long time ago. She received her medical degree from Johns Hopkins, did her residency at Stanford University, and trained in Maharishi Ayurveda. As of the writing of this book in the 90s, she had treated over 10,000 patients. She has appeared on NPR, Donahue, Geraldo Rivera, and CNN. And obviously this was written a long time ago. But there's a lot. This book is really good. And in Ayurveda, we recognize the cycles of life. Childhood being Kapha, then midlife being Pitta, and then in menopause, Vata. And Vata is dry. I'm already a Vata person. So with menopause, it is true that the tissues can be more dry. So what? There are things you can do. She recommends, and I'm going to do this actually. I think it's good advice. She recommends coconut oil and aloe vera juice, aloe vera gel, internally to help with the dryness. But basically, we have to be able to transition from the Pitta part of life to the Vata part of life. And for some women, if they have like a lot of toxins built up in their system, they're not able to make that transition, and that's why they're having problems. Okay, since menopause is the transition from the Pitta phase of life to the Vata phase, if a woman already has a significant Pitta or Vata imbalance in the years before menopause, things are likely to get worse during menopause, which is a period when hormonal and other natural changes take place in the body. Number 2, the accumulation of ama, which is digestive impurities. And I'm going to link this to like inflammation or metabolic disorder and all of that, plaque. The accumulation of ama in the physiology. Ama blocks the channels that transport nutrition to the cells and remove waste from the body, and thus contributes to menopausal problems. Number 3, and this is the part that Western society completely neglects. They're always popping pills at you. But the misuse or overuse of the mind, body, emotions, or senses. Basically, this happens when a woman strains her mind too much, is under too much ongoing stress or pressure, is doing work that is too heavy for her body, or is under tremendous emotional stress. Oh yeah, and these are things we're not supposed to talk about. Just a minute, I'm going to be right back. Women are not taught to honor our natural cycles, like the moon flow and all that stuff. When I was a young woman having my periods, they were heavy on the first few days. There was a lot of cramping. It was very uncomfortable to sit. I didn't have a job where every month I could take a day off and be in bed, but I often did. And after my kids were born, certainly I could do that more because I wasn't working full outside the house. But it's natural for a woman when she's on their first heavy flow day or first two, we're supposed to rest. Get a heating pad, take a hot bath, rest. But no, it's like put in your tampon, put in your white pants and run a marathon. You go, girl. Another problem that women are taught to neglect their emotions. A lot of women are in relationships where they're neglected by their men, abused by their men, not appreciated by their men, or living in chaotic homes. That is very disruptive to the heart. We don't talk about nourishing the woman's heart and her emotions. Another problem, a mom has a child, and within a few days, she's got to take that little baby that's in the carrier and drop him off at a child care. You know how much that breaks her heart? That is abuse of the mother's heart. That's this country, U.S., doing that. They don't give a shit about kids. The Christian right, they want to tell you not to have an abortion, but once the kids are born, you go drop it at daycare. We don't give a shit about your kids. It's all fucking hypocrisy. But I'm saying this hurts the mother's heart, and it's bad for the child too. The baby needs to be skin on skin with the mom. It's nurturing and soothing for the mom, for the child. The breastfeeding, the touch, the nourishment, these all nourish a woman's heart, and many women never got to experience that. Okay, then you add on people that were abused as children. They have trauma stored in their body. All this stuff is going to impact people when, as they go through life. Unhealed trauma, neglecting their emotions, overworking, overstressing. That's why you get these women, they don't want to have sex. They're stressed. I don't believe in all that. I don't believe in working full-time. I don't work full-time. I do what I do. People judge me. Not really anyone I know. They're like, wow, you're always so happy. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm just in tune with my feminine vibes. So that's what I thought is very important for people to know. And I think that we need to pay attention to our hearts, that our hearts thrive, that our body thrives. And there's a lot of stuff in our modern society that is against that. Now, I was reading in here that when these Indian Vadias came to the US, they were shocked by how many menstrual problems American women are having. They don't see that in India. They don't see that because people are living a more natural lifestyle. That's why. Now, and I wanted to tell you, I found this very interesting, a few tips about what to do if your vagina is dry. What did I want to find that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, before I go into this, when I was in my early 30s, I happened to made an appointment with this Indian Vaidya, highly trained doctor in Ayurveda who does the pulse diagnosis. And I went to him with a specific problem because it had been many months, a long time, that every time I had intercourse with my husband, I was having pain, like it hurt. Even when I was using lube, like it hurt. I had nothing wrong with me physically, and it was like a new thing that had happened. And I don't know how long it had been going on, but it was bothering me. So when he was in town, I made an appointment, and he gave me the most unexpected recommendation. He told me to mix turmeric with honey and insert it into my vagina. I kid you not. Now, how did I do that? I had to kind of make up a mixture, and I think I put it in like a tampon or a turkey baster or something like that, and I squeezed it in, and then I used a bunch of like thick maxi pads so as it came out it wouldn't stain my bed. And I don't remember how many days I did it or how many days he told me to do it. I think he said 2 or 3 or something. I have never had that pain since. Boom, gone. Now, I do know that turmeric is an anti-inflammatory, and there's something in honey. So see, I'm saying, if I would have gone to an American doctor, they would have maybe removed my vagina. Who knows? They're crazy. They're crazy what they try to do. Oh, here's another thing. After I had one of my kids, I went back for the post-child exam, post-baby exam, and the gynecologist, I had a midwife I was using, but she worked at this doctor's office, and he told me that I had cervical dysplasia or something. I would have to have part of my cervix removed. Now, I was a good insurance patient, and he was mostly dealing with low-income women. I went there because of the midwife. Other people went to the midwife because they were poor, but I went there because I'm educated. And I think he was trying to get money because the surgery was going to be a few $1,000s. This was back in the 90s. And I was like, I want to get a second opinion. So I have a family member who is a pathologist. And this family member said, why don't you have those slides sent to me? I'll look at them. And he looked at them. And that person is a cancer researcher, by the way, this family member. He looked at them and goes like, looks clean to me, no problem at all. So the doctor lied to me. That's what I want you to know. He lied to me. I think he just wanted to do a surgery. So you cannot always trust the doctors. And some of them could have, maybe there was a mistake or something, but I don't believe it. There was no reason for them to tell me that. My cervix has been fine. I've never had a problem with my cervix. Okay, so that's what I mean. And now they're telling women they need hormones because when they hit menopause, they're become a patient. Fuck you, idiots. I'm very upset. Very upset. Okay, natural approaches to improving sexual function. Now, I will say that after I hit menopause, my tissue is a little bit more dry. My skin is a little bit more dry. But that's no reason to take hormones. I just put on a little bit more like moisturizer or creams. They're natural things you can do. One study in Great Britain found that supplementation for 6 weeks with phytoestrogens from soy and linseed resulted in maturation and increased lubrication of the vaginal lining. 2 case reports suggest an estrogenic effect on the vagina from the use of ginseng. Now, she recommends an Ayurvedic homemade lubricant that is soothing as well as moisturizing. You mix equal parts aloe vera gel and coconut oil. Use nightly for long-term nourishment of the vaginal tissues. That's something I'm going to try. I'm definitely going to try that. If you're experiencing vaginal dryness, also be sure to add to your wise water, which I'll go into, the following: marshmallow root. The wise water, that's another Ayurvedic thing, is to, they're really big on herbs, which in the Western world, we don't really use herbs that much. And in cooking, they saute them in ghee to bring out the flavors. But you can also add herbs to hot water, but you boil the hot water for at least 10 minutes. You add the herbs to the hot water, and then you drink it as a tea throughout the day. You sip hot water throughout the day. I actually have done the wise water before. I haven't done it this year, but you do cumin seeds, coriander seeds, fennel seeds, and then for your blood plasma, you can add ajwain seeds. Depending on what you want to improve in your physiology, you would add in different spices. And then if you want to, if your libido is flagging, you can also add shatavari. Or if you're experiencing vaginal dryness, you can also add marshmallow root. I was doing this last year. I kind of got lazy and got out of the habit. But anyway, it's all in this book. I need to get back into this habit. It's all in this book. I do not know if anyone else is talking about natural health and healthy metabolism and not treating menopause as some kind of a disease. I refuse. I'm not a patient. I'm not in a disease. I am just going through a different time in my life. And the good thing about menopause is you can have sex whenever you want. You don't stain your sheets anymore with blood leaking. You don't have menstrual cramping. You can't get pregnant. And it's just freedom, you know? And you still have a libido. So I don't see why people are having such a big problem with it. But again, our lifestyle and kind of the lack of knowledge of some of this stuff. Now, I'm very kind of skeptical about some of the voodoo science and this and that. But I'm not as skeptical of Ayurveda. I just kind of have like an affinity for it. I guess because I was raised around it since I was little. I kind of trust it more. And it just seems very soothing. I've kind of followed the dietary recommendations and I've noticed some of the impact in my life. And it just makes sense. In Ayurveda, they say food is your medicine. You know? I haven't found anything in there that seems radical or not worth a try. Put it that way. It's definitely worth a try. It's not going to harm you, and it's not a fad. So that's it. So I'm curious what you guys think about, you know, people aging gracefully and not treating aging as some kind of freaking disease. It's only disease if you're fatter than a pig. You eat junk. You're not going to have a good transition. And so if you're younger and listening to this, you have a lot of chances still to improve your life. I don't mean to be like on a high horse. I'm not mad at you guys. I'm mad at all the doctors. You know, they're all over YouTube on these shows that I watch. They bring on these menopause experts to help women. And all these people are just telling you how you can benefit from hormones. Pisses me off. That's why I got out of bed, even though I'm sick, to make this video. I was so mad. Don't tell me I'm a patient. I refuse to participate in their fantasy sickness. That's what I mean. It's their fantasy sickness. Because they don't really know why it happens and what to do about it. They don't really know. Now, if you are taking hormones, I know people who are taking hormones. You do you. You know, a lot of people, they get benefits from it. But I'm just a person who doesn't like to take medicine. I'm a person committed to natural health, natural beauty. I don't do Botox. I color my hair. That's all I do. I have a little gray. I had it done yesterday. I had to go even though I wasn't feeling well because the appointment is 2 hours long and I didn't want to cancel on her and miss it. I've never done a liposuction or a microneedling, and I won't. I'm committed to natural health and natural beauty. And I like to be around women who feel the same way. Women like that are really hard to find. Everyone's into like doing this to their face, you know? And obviously you look like you've done something. Even the ones that look really good, like, what's her name? Oh, some of the actresses have done a really good job with their facelifts. But I'm like, you've obviously done something. I want to look like she's done nothing. Natural beauty. That's how I want to look. She hasn't done anything to her face. Because you can always tell when someone's done something to their face, you can always tell. And to me, that's a turnoff. Like, why did you do that to yourself? It doesn't look good. It doesn't look natural. It doesn't look natural. It looks fake. Okay, I like real things. Like this is a real pine cone. I'm not going to buy a fake pine cone. And I don't want to use a dildo. I'd rather have a real cock. I like things that are real. Like on this table, I have this. They're real. I just like things that are real and natural. You know, there's a beauty in that. Even though some of it is dry and it's changing, you know, it's natural. It's going to change, you know. It's going to get dried out. Still pretty. So I am here to be one voice for natural beauty. We don't hear that. It's all about women can do this procedure and that procedure and this hormone, and men can take testosterone, this and that. Like, why do you need that shit? We shouldn't need that. No one's saying that. You shouldn't need any of that. Watch the video I made earlier about what to eat, but basically you got to stay away from anything processed, and the only bread you should ever eat is whole grain, which is Ezekiel bread. Everything else, they say whole wheat flour. It's processed starch. First ingredient in bread should be sprouted wheat berries, cracked grain, something like that. I used to bake bread. I even had a bread mill for a while, a grain mill. You get the whole grain, it goes in. It's very yummy. It's very filling. One slice of bread will fill you up. But that's not what you get. You get basically straight mainlining sugar and causing inflammation with every bread. Pasta, white rice, it's all bad. People eat that and then they wonder why they get sick and fat. And there are more people now talking about metabolic disorder and inflammation, stuff like that. I gotta get myself settled down. Oh, every time I make I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a video about menopause. I'm gonna speak softly and from the heart. I'm gonna inspire people. But then I come on, I'm like, I'm so mad that they're saying this. I do not accept this, you know? And I'm like, I gotta learn how to speak softly and from the heart. But a lot of my videos I make, I'm coming from like, this is so wrong. I will not participate in this delusion. What am I going to call this? The delusion that menopause is a disorder. Something like that. Thank you for watching.